Hey everyone, welcome to Campner Canucks. My name is RevTrev, and I'm so glad that you're here because today we're going to be talking about Canucks trade rumors, reports, what's going on with the Vancouver Canucks. There is so much happening. This has been probably one of the most dramatic, talked about seasons ever. And what's wild is Vancouver Canucks fans are at the stage where they're all like saying, the season's over, blow it up, rebuild. Now, we've heard people say rebuild before, but I just want to remind you that rebuilding is not an option for this team. I know many of you are going to be like, it has to be. We're not going to win a cup with this team. But Rutherford, Hughes, and our owner are not here for rebuilds. We do not understand the financial challenges that come that way. Okay? We don't understand that at all. Okay? What we do know is that this team wants to be competitive and wants to win, but it is not at this stage. And we do not know what's going on with Quinn Hughes in regards to injury, how serious it is. Even Demko's a mystery. They keep saying he's going to be back soon. So it's possible we still can be in the hunt. And the newest thing that came out today was that the Vancouver Canucks are looking to add, so they're trying to be buyers, not sellers. For all the rebuild people there, that's mind blown, right? Mind blown. Are you kidding me? Why are we doing this? And I get it. I get the frustration. I get the whole thing. But what if we end up trading Brock Boeser for Rantanen? Think about that for a moment. Just think about that for a moment, okay? Brock Boeser for Mikko Rantanen. Would you be happy as a Canucks fan if that actually happened? Now, some of you are sitting there and you're going, how can that be? How can that be? Like, Trevor, you're out to lunch. This is totally out in left field. But listen to me just for a moment. Don't click off the video yet because I want you to hear me out. This might be more likely than you think. But the big question we're going to be answering today is what's going to happen with Brock Boeser? What is going to happen with him? Are we going to keep him? Are we going to resign him? Are we going to trade him? Are we going to use him as a rental? What's going to happen? And there is no new news. I want to show you. This is exactly what Rick Dhaliwal, not hearing the Canucks and Brock Boeser are close to on a new deal. Could go three ways this week: sign, trade him, or keep him. Listen, the thing that Rick talked about, and some of you are like, well, who's Rick Dhaliwal? If you don't know who Rick Dhaliwal is, you don't live in the Vancouver area. He is probably the most trusted Canucks insider we have. We love him. Donnie and Dolly is their show that they run all the time. Okay. And I love listening to him. He's animated. He knows stuff. He has inside scoop. And it seems like to me, and this is what's weird, is that who wants Brock Boeser? There are no links to him yet for a deal. There's no report that's come out and said these three teams are interested in Brock Boeser. Why? Usually by now there's some rumblings out there, right? There's some rumblings. It's all speculation so far as to a team that's talking to Vancouver about Brock Boeser. Guys, we've had months and months and months to sign him, and now we're 4 days, 3 days away from the trade deadline, and he's not, like, we have no links at this stage. What are we going to get for Brock Boeser? And since the Canucks are looking to add and not sell, they're looking to be a buyer, not a seller, this could be a realistic possibility. And not only are we in that situation, so are the Carolina Hurricanes. Reports, rumors, I don't know which one it is yet, are saying that the Hurricanes are not close to signing Rantanen. And are they going to lose him for nothing like they did with Gensel? Like, that is a realistic possibility here, everyone. The Hurricanes feel like they're just one player away from becoming amazing and competing for the Cup. But if Rantanen says to them, listen, I'm not signing with you guys at the end of the season, you need to know that. I did not want to get traded from Colorado when this whole thing shook down. Basically, from what you're watching, what you're seeing out there is that Rantanen is sitting there and he's going, are you kidding me right now? You just traded me? I would have taken less. Like, that's a real thing, which would be wild. And this is what I hope happens for Vancouver, is that we trade Brock Boeser away. He doesn't re-sign with the team. He comes back to us. That would be awesome. I think Colorado fans are hoping for the same thing. They are hoping that somehow, some way, they got this trade done, and now Rantanen's coming back. Problem is, it seems like that they're saying, we're moving on. We're done. They went and got Natius. And I'm good on them to get something for sure, because if you don't, you cannot have a Johnny Gaudreau situation where he just walks and goes to another team. You just can't. You can't have those moments. That is what I would consider bad management. And you can't use Brock Boeser as a rental. It's bad management, because if you don't re-sign him, you're hooped. Now, you know all the rumors that are out there. Apparently, the Vancouver Canucks offered Brock Boeser $8 million times 5 years. That was early on in the season, and he rejected it. But if you think about, like, Cam Robinson, right, from Elite Prospects, says, I do believe the Canucks are actively talking trade on Brock Boeser with a number of teams. What teams, Cam? Well, you can't say, because you don't know. But from my understanding, they haven't decided against keeping him for the playoffs. Say what? Are we even going to make the playoffs? We don't know. Still a chance that they meet for one last extension discussed as well. This one seems, he says, too tough to guess at this point, which, if you ask me, is just too risky. Is it not? Is it not too risky? Because I think it's super risky. I like, Darren Dreger tweeted, the Canucks continue to consider all options with Brock Boeser. Vancouver did make an extension offer in the first half of the season, but it's not believed to be on the table any longer. Obviously, trade possibilities are being explored. That's where we're at, everyone. That's where we're at. This is absolutely wild. Wild. And so what I'm saying is we might get a realistic possibility where both the Canucks and the Carolina Hurricanes are in the exact same situation, and they just make a swap and say Rantanen for Boeser. I don't know what would also be involved. I have no idea. But the Canucks are like, we're willing to take that risk. It shows our fan base that we're trying to add. We're trying to win now. We're trying to make the playoffs now. And we're trying to make Quinn Hughes happy now. Because we all know Brock Boeser, healthy, playing with a center that he likes, like JT Miller, which we do not have anymore, is that 30 to 40 goal scorer every single year. That's what he is. That's what his potential is. Now, some of you are like, why are we trading for Rantanen when we need a center? Well, that's the thing that bothers me about trading JT Miller. Everyone's like, hey, we need a center now. And it would be great if we could get a power forward. That's what we had in JT Miller. We traded the wrong guy. And all those people, all the PD police are all angry right now. That's just a fact. Miller's slaying it in New York. And Pettersson looks the same. Looks the same. Miller's been gone. There's been no improvement in his game. But Rantanen is a different bird. Like, you're talking Rantanen and Boeser. Everyone's going to say that Rantanen's better, right? And I love Brock Boeser. We all love the flow, right? We love this guy. He's a great character guy, great teammate, all that kind of stuff. Then you say, well, Trev, you know, you might have the exact same situation. Maybe Rantanen doesn't sign with Vancouver. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. But it all depends if we make the playoffs, how we do, how he does with it, who he fits with. Maybe he's the answer to Pettersson playing on the wing. Maybe they have incredible chemistry. I know that's a big stretch. I get it. I would be so, at this point, pumped if we traded Pettersson away, but I would be shocked. Excuse me. I would be absolutely shocked if we actually traded Elias Pettersson before the deadline. I think the Elias Pettersson one would be after the season if we trade him at all. But I think Brock, it's like, well, how come the deal's not done? And how come, you know what I mean? So, like, I think that this deal is going to happen. This deal is going to happen on Friday. I have this feeling that this is going to happen. They're going to exhaust all their different. So is it going to be Rantanen for Boeser? I know that a lot of, like, even when I watch those things, I'm like, that's crazy. That's stupid. But the longer this goes, the greater this possibility is, right? But here's the thing. Brock wants to stay in Vancouver, but do the Canucks keep him or do they trade him? It's great that him and Pettersson want to stay. That's wonderful. But will they produce? Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. And we got to do what's best for this organization. So I'm glad that Brock wants to stay. I hope he does stay and re-sign for a reasonable thing. So if Brock, will he be re-signing with Vancouver? When is he going to sign on the dotted line? And what's the term? Can you imagine that the Vancouver Canucks get to the trade deadline on Friday and let it pass, and they still don't have a contract done with Brock? That means he's got all the leverage, and he's in the driver's seat, everyone. So 8 times 8, $8 million a year times 8 years is on the board. Are you okay with that? I'm just not okay with that, even though I love watching him play. But he has been so disappointing this year. The whole team's been disappointing, if we ask. The good news is we've been so disappointing with all the drama, all the stress, all the craziness, and here we are. We're still at the playoff hunt because the other teams are so terrible too. It's like Calgary's terrible, Utah's terrible, the Ducks have been terrible. St. Louis hasn't been good, and it's like, someone's going to emerge in the next month. Someone's going to go next level and make a push and make that playoff spot. Is it going to be Vancouver or is it going to be someone else? So can you imagine if they I don't know. Again, if we just use them as a rental, I just think it's bad management. And I don't think they're going to do that. So I'm going to dive into some questions from you. First, I'm going to hit the promo video. And then we're going to get into your questions. Thanks so much for being here. And I can't wait to answer your questions next. All right. I'm glad that everyone's here. Adam Lee was the first one. Trade Brock for a Big Mac meal. Man, I think we can get more than a Big Mac meal. We can. So, hey, Rod, good to see you. Welcome. People want to talk about Pettersson here in the comments. I just want to talk about Brock Boeser. I don't think we're trading Pettersson. So, but I think Phoenix says give Pettersson until next season to see if he improves. And if he doesn't, trade him at the next season's trade deadline. You could, but he's got a no movement clause and he can veto it. We can get stuck with Pettersson's big contract because he doesn't want to move. That's the thing about Brock too, right? Drafted by this team. This is where he's grown up. Why does he want to move? He doesn't. And so a lot of people are like, well, trade Brock Boeser to Minnesota, where he's from, which makes a lot of sense. The problem is, excuse me, Minnesota just traded for Nyquist. I think the Brock Boeser option is sailed again, which was wild. Why would they do that? But, hey, Shane, it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay. I'd be psyched for a potential playoff. So we had JT Miller. I would too. Brian is here. He just wants to trade everybody. Let's see. What else did people? I'm going to keep it just to Brock stuff tonight. Okay, everyone? Why would Carolina do that trade? Well, I talked about that. The reason why is because they might be in the exact same spot and a team isn't really interested in making that goal. They get handcuffed and they're like, you know what? We know that we can sign Brock Boeser. We know he can score goals. We know that we have the centerman to make him successful. That might be a realistic option for them. It might be a realistic option. I know Kimo is a huge fan of Rantanen being Finnish. That is something that's good. Adam says Rantanen never plays good alone. I mean, obviously you always need teammates to be there, but someone will give Boeser what he wants. Yes, that's right. He is going to go to free agency if he doesn't get what he wants. So if he gets traded to Carolina and they give him 8 times 8 or 8 times 7, he's like, sure, I'll do that. Of course. Right? Phoenix, this is where I'm at. Trade or sign 100%. I'm fine with either. Just don't let him walk for nothing. That is the bare minimum. Absolutely. Green says 100% Brock gets traded. That's the right move. It is the right move if he's not going to resign for reasonable term, right? The term is the key. But to where, Green? That's the thing. We're not hearing where. How can you not know who Rick Dhaliwal is? I mean, I've talked to someone and they said, who's Rick Dhaliwal? I'm like, are you kidding me? But they don't live in this area. So who doesn't? I'm telling you, I know people who don't know who that is. They need to. Brock is asking too much. They are giving him $8 million for 5 years and he wants a 7-year. I love Brock, but his goals are nowhere near last year. It's true. It's true. And people want to talk about EP40. I don't want to talk about him tonight. Boeser is gone. Where? To where? Okay. Let me just keep going. Knowing how this regime works, when they want to get a deal done, it's usually out of the blue. Something tells me this regime is very hesitant with resigning Boeser. I agree. And you hope you're wrong, though. Last season was quite, could be again. I don't know. What does that mean? Yeah, I know. This is awful, right? I don't want to talk about PD, though. Rantanen is useless without his top 5 teammates. Maybe. Boeser with no extension gets you a late 2nd round pick. We'll find out. Vernon, that's possible. I still think I'm holding out for a 1st round pick on him. The only problem with hoping Boeser comes back scenarios once you trade him, it is that it's possible that someone can give him more money than the Canucks can offer him. That's true. But maybe he's just like, I want to stay here. But Dreamer, you're right. Can't have Boeser walk. Sarah, rentals suck. They do, Sarah. Absolutely. 100% trade or sign looks more like a trade at this stage. I agree. It's going to keep scrolling down. He will score 40 again. He might score 40 again. Depends who he's playing with. Canucks can't sit with the current roster. Brock wants longer term. That's why refusal. His stats don't add up for the contract. I agree. Canucks play the Wild on trade day. Yeah, I know. That is a wild scenario, isn't it? Zach is here. It says, imagine we keep Boeser as a rental. We don't make the playoffs, and he walks to free market. This would look so. Zach, you're 1,000% right. I don't know what the cost would be, Elfrin, but does that make them happy getting swept? It's about dollars too. This is a business. This is honestly a business. It's about keeping Quinn Hughes happy. It's about progressing, not regressing. So, problem, Canucks are mostly passengers. Fan base is fed up, and season ticket holders don't want this boring team. It's true, but will they go down in season tickets sales? I don't think they're going to, everyone. Especially if they're not trending in the right direction. If we did go rebuild, I'm telling you, season ticket sales will go down. Yeah, we cannot have another Ham-Hughes situation like again with Benning. Absolutely. And Brock Boeser is way more valuable. Okay. Boeser needs a setup guy like Miller to score. Oh, wait, I'd move Boeser and try to use the assets to get a guy like Tuck. There are some rumors about Alex Tuck from Buffalo. My guess, management go for Raquel. Okay. That's a good guess. I like that. Okay, lots of Pettersson talk. Again, not going to talk about. No, Adam Lee, I totally get it, but I'm telling you that he's an elite player. He's an elite player. Every right winger or left winger needs a good centerman to work with. I know. And if they want to keep Boeser or Pettersson, then they need to surround them with better talent, right? Jeevan, good to see you. Find out at trade deadline. Question is, will he have another 40-goal season? Brock is not a fast skater. You know, we know that. Yeah, absolutely. The math doesn't work for Rantanen and Boeser's salaries. They're going to make it work, right? I mean, they're smarter than I am. Way smarter than all of us. Rantanen has less than 10 points without Makar and McKinnon. He is not garbage. He is not garbage. That's fake news. Seems a lot of players get more money than give up and not produce. I mean, Mo Gilney did that, right? Got a big contract, didn't play well after that. If Alvin doesn't trade and just adds major bad news, depends on how they produce, right? Something needs to change with the current team. It's not working. I agree. And by the way, everyone, this just in, I should probably make a separate video about this, but everyone's like, hey, listen, the defense got fixed. Good thing we traded Miller. The defense got fixed. Last 2 games, 5 goals scored against us, and last game, 6 goals. Where's the defense now? Where's the defense now? Canucks haven't been up to the task to inch closer to Colorado as of late. 1-4-0 since the Four Nations break. I know. There have been Susie rumors. I saw one that was possibly to a Western powerhouse. Would that be Winnipeg? It could be Winnipeg for looking for depth. We're not going to get much for Susie though. Just trading his contract away is probably good. Kevin says they can, if they can't afford Boeser, there's no way they're going to keep. Oh yeah, they're going to find ways to keep Rantanen for sure, guys. They also need a center for Rantanen, and they move some extra defense for a 1C or 2C that challenges Petey for 1C. Yeah, I know they're it's easy to say, hard to find, right? That's kind of what you're saying. Brock Boeser for Brock Nelson. I mean, that's not terrible. Just, I mean, it would be terrible for us, but like, we need that center. And at least Brock Nelson is the 60, 70 point guy. That would be a good centerman. But he's older, right? Can Alvin trade 5 firsts in a row to avoid any chance of a rebuild in his time? It's possible, Dan. Coach Rob Willie's in the building. Good to see you. Yeah, they won't trade for Brock. They probably just go after him when he hits free agency. I don't think they're going to have the numbers to get there. Take 60 minutes to win non-overtime games. Problem, Canucks sit on the lead. Take foot off the gas. Teams beat Canucks. We need a power play, preferably center. Look at Winnipeg. Going after centers. Jack says, I think Suter will bring a big return. Really? Charge the Oilers a first for them. Okay. I'd be open to that. Yeah, right. Boeser to Ottawa for their first and a prospect. I mean, Boeser to Ottawa for Pinto or Josh Norris. That might be possible. Heard earlier that they may flip the pieces from the Brock trade for Raquel, who is 31, but also signed for 3 more years. Drager also mentioned Canucks are interested in a center that nobody's mentioned. Interesting. A few things are Hedel and O'Connor have been good, as well as Suter. I don't know. I'm not sold on Drew O'Connor yet. He's been okay. He's had a couple good moments. Hedel, I've been more impressed with Hedel. He's way better than I anticipated. And then you're right, Suter's been good. Yeah, I don't know who the center might be. Joe, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Nyquist got a second. Boeser will get a first. If that happens, that would be great. But I'm not really thrilled about a first round pick because they take 3 years after they're drafted to actually possibly make the team. Let's keep going. I've heard New Jersey had interest in Boeser for one. They just lost Jack Hughes for a while. Could end up there for a trade for Brock. Yeah, could be. Yeah, this is what I was talking about as well. To Ottawa for Josh Norris. He's good friends with Quinn Hughes. If they keep Miller, it might make more sense to give Brock more money. Yeah, if they kept Miller, yeah, it would be. No problem. You can be late. I have no problem. Just look. Canucks trade option, Boeser and Rantanen. Is that possible? Joe says business and playoff experience for core players, even if it's a first round exit. Yeah, that's true. It's a positive thing to make the playoffs, everyone. Everyone's like, well, we don't want to make the playoffs and lose in the first round. I do. Now, do I want to make the playoffs and make noise? 100%. But I love watching my team play in the playoffs. And those games that we get at home, big money for the Canucks, big money for the Oilers. Sorry. Owners, not for the Oilers. My bad. That's hilarious. Yeah, we need a power center. We had one. His name was JT Miller. Yeah, I don't know. Tuck, that's the newest one that's come on there. Suter and Forbert will be UFAs on July 1st, so should be traded. I would agree with that statement, but we'll see. Maybe we sign Suter back. Maybe he wants to stay. Maybe he doesn't want to go to another team. I didn't think we were going to keep Forbert anyways, so I doubt. Like, it doesn't surprise me. Frederick from Boston is another target. Let's keep going here. Boeser has a better chance at a comeback season than Pettersson and is much cheaper. Even long-term, Petey's money was too much, even based on previous years. A lot of people were happy with the 11.6. So LeBron or MJ? MJ. It's close, but it's not. 1, we are not getting Rantanen for Brock. 2, we are not getting Rantanen. I'd rather get 2 $7 million wingers than Rantanen anyways. Well, Green, thanks for raining on the parade. Thanks for raining on the parade, man. Yes, it's MJ. Should the Canucks trade Susie? I think the answer is yes. Will they? I'm not sure. Comes down to March 7th. See who wins on trade deadline. I like the defensive. I like defensive core. Defense core is improving, but forward core needs to change. Defense is learning, but still needs a few changes. Yeah, definitely Michael Jordan. Vernon says the Leafs are going to watch Marner walk for nothing. I don't think they are. The Canucks can let a 28-year-old Brock Boeser walk and use that $9 million on 2 Jake Gensel-like forwards. That's a possibility, Vernon. That's true. Canucks had a chance to catch up to the Oilers as well, as they were on a 5-game losing streak, but the Canucks decided to stink as well. Chris says, would Alvin be fired if this year fails? Possibly. Yeah, a lot of people talked about that. We talked about that. We need a right-handed shot defenseman in any trade. I don't know if we need, but it'd be nice. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Josh Norris from the Sens. Sam Bennett for Brock, I would love that trade. Canucks, Isles, and Canes. I did see, those to me were very unrealistic. I really don't think, but maybe they will. Maybe they're real. Who knows? Of course, David W. coming in with the to be determined comment. Yeah, we're gonna see. Ottawa's rumored to be in on Boeser, and Josh Norris would be interesting return. I think that's great. Who is Crosby? That's hilarious. What do you mean? What do you mean Hedl is that guy? Are you thinking like he's a number 1 center? No, of course not. Is he a number 2 center? No, I don't think he's that either. I think he's a number 3 center. Yeah, Ottawa always seems to slide, in my opinion. When the bar is so low, Hedl looks great. Need a real center. I think we are oversized. We are oversized in D-core now. Hronek could get a lot more than Boeser in a trade, but there's no Hronek rumors out there. I'd be surprised. Sam Bennett for Brock, that would be awesome. The Vancouver Canucks are on the brink of greatness this year. They have all the tools to lift the Stanley Cup, from their remarkable roster to the strategic depth and strong leadership. Is this a joke? Yeah, I don't think anyone's thinking they're on the verge, the brink of winning a Stanley Cup this year. No. So the brink of greatness this year. Wow. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people talk about putting him on defense. I don't really want to talk about EP40. Making the playoffs means added experience. Who doesn't like playoff experience? I do. Adam Lee, you keep posting the same thing. We've already talked about it. I've already highlighted it. Imagine Alex Tuch and Sam Bennett on the Canucks. Wow, now that sounds good. Yeah, that should be good. Hey, Murray, good to see you. Welcome. I think the Canucks will trade Suter, Boeser, and Susie by Friday. Just prediction. I can see all of those things happening as well. They could pull a Florida even if they just get to the playoffs. I don't know. Everything would have to align right. You know how many Canucks fans right now, Dreamer, are just saying, let's rebuild? Like playoffs. What are we talking about? Playoffs here. But it's still possible. Kempner Canucks is a passionate Vancouver Canucks fan who shares insights, analysis, and personal reflections on the team across multiple social media platforms. That is true. I am not an insider. I am not a professional. This is what I do for fun. This is my hobby. I love connecting with Canuck fans. There we're going. I have no problem if Oiler fans drop in here. That's totally fine. They can totally come and join us. Yeah. Florida has a lot of cap room. They are not trading Bennett. Yeah, they did get hot at the right time, but they were good before that happened too. In fact, Florida is looking to add more, especially with the Kachuk now on LTIR. It's true. The potential of Filipino is to be determined. Right now, he has 6 points in 9 games, with the Canucks playing at a 54-point pace. Dell, you're right. Rebuilding is a waste of time. Just use the Vegas model for success, for sure. Rebuilding will never happen. Ownership has shown it's not an option. That's why they keep trading prospects, picks. They wanted to rebuild. That's how we'd be doing it. They'll definitely lose Hughes if they go down that path, and they will not lose Hughes. My prediction is Hughes is not going to go to another team. Eugene's here and says, I think the way Vancouver has played this season has left fans outraged. Of course, I think they're frustrated as well. We want the cup so bad, yet it is always so far away. It is frustrating. It is frustrating. All right, everyone, that is the video for tonight. I want to thank you for being here. I know there was a million of these EP40 comments. I'm just not getting to them tonight. Just right here again, right? So yeah, I'm just saying. I know our fan base, especially the Kempner Canucks followers, are obsessed with EP40. But I wanted to make a video on Brock Boeser. Could there be a scenario that that both teams get desperate, both teams need to make a trade, and both teams move their guys? Say Rantanen's coming your way, Boeser's coming your way. Oh, that would be awesome. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing lots of videos this week regarding the Canucks, regarding the trade deadline. When a trade breaks, I'll be making a video that evening. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you all. Hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. If you're watching this later, please leave a comment, hit the like and subscribe, everyone. And of course, always, go Canucks go.